Unemployment is going up, it's going through the roof. Debts are going to, public debts, private debts, they're all going through the roof. Business turnover is down, it's down a long way. There's not much I can say about that other than we all are feeling it. Payroll protection plans, or furlough as it's known in Britain, are, well, they're going to be coming to an end, but there doesn't seem to be anything much of any great use coming our way in the near future to take over from that. A little bit of protection here and there, but nothing to cover for the fact that, of course, business is bad and so unemployment is going to go through the roof. The OECD has been warning about unemployment, and it's going to hit the poorest in society the hardest. I think to give you some idea of where things are right now, 20% of African American families in the US do not have enough food to eat. Unemployment, regular unemployment. Now, the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the US put unemployment, said it's down to 12% or 11%, somewhere around there, and claimed that there are 18 million unemployed. The states reported to the Federal Reserve Bank that they are paying unemployment to 31.5 million people. So that would place it at about 20%, which is where it was at the height of the Great Depression. There's a funky little factoid for you. We're seeing absurdities like restaurants being told they have to have social distancing, but I didn't know that distancing could be social as anti-social distancing, but whatever it is, we're seeing distancing, and that means that they can only fill themselves to about, well, at the most 50%, let's say 40%, which is kind of sucks if you need 60% occupancy to break even. And you need a weekend where it's 80, 90% and really rocking in order to actually earn some money. And this all applies to the UK as well. The only problem is I don't see any meaningful unemployment figures whatsoever coming from the ONS, so I don't know where they are. But they're almost certainly exactly the same. They're claiming 3.9. Yeah. Yeah. 3.9% unemployment. Somebody's sick joke, I think. Now, the Federal Reserve Bank and central banks all over the world are buying, well, they're buying anything in order to keep the economies all going. In America, they are buying mortgage-backed securities, and where have we heard that gag before? It's the CDO crisis of 2007, 2008 all over again, only instead of CDOs, collateralized debt obligations, it's now mortgage-backed securities, same difference. This, of course, has led to a downturn in liquidity for the mortgage companies because they can no longer hedge their mortgages properly. So it's pulling liquidity out of the mortgage market. And you have to remember that all these furlough schemes, payroll protection plans, and then there's all the payment holidays for mortgages, rents, taxes, what's known in America as forbearance schemes. They run on for 3 months, 6 months, whatever. They're coming to an end now. People are running out of money. There's nothing to replace them. The jobs are not there. We're going to see a lot of downturn. Now, all this is having a profound effect on money, or should I say rather currency in the form of the dollar, the pound, the euro, and so on. There are three types of money. The three types of money are commodity money, representative money, and fiat money. Now, commodity money is something like gold coins, silver coins, mangoes, whatever turns you on. Representative money is when you put the gold in a bank and the bank gives you a piece of paper saying, we've got gold on your behalf here in the bank. And then, of course, a fiat currency, which is just, fiat is a Latin word meaning make it so. And that means it's nothing. That is, it starts off as being just gold coins, and then a debt bubble blows up, and then it becomes a representative currency, and debt notes are exchanged, creating money that is not represented by gold in the vaults. And this leads then sooner or later to a debt crisis, and the debt crises, there'll be more than one, build and build until they come off the gold standard or whatever other standard, and they become a fiat currency. And then when they get into the fiat currency, they have still more debt crises because the debt cycle isn't going away. And so quantitative easing begins, and quantitative easing, all it serves to do, apart from creating more debt, is for the reserve status of that currency to disappear. The currency collapses one way or another, and then we go back looking for another hard currency or representative currency to call a reserve currency. Now, Ray Dalio, who runs Bridgewater Associates, which is the world's largest hedge fund, at least it was in 2016, I don't know what happened since then, he is of the opinion, he's been raising eyebrows everywhere, he's of the opinion that the dollar's reserve currency status is about to be taken away. He gives it between 2 and 5 years. Because they're buying in mortgage-backed securities, because they are buying, they're QEing like you wouldn't believe, they're taking the risk that should be in the private sector and de-risking it by buying bonds. They've started buying company bonds. They started with British Petroleum and moved on to other all-American companies like Toyota. And so my question is, what happens to the Fed, to the Bank of England, to the European Central Bank when some of these bonds start going poof, 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 just disappearing in a puff of smoke? What they're doing at the moment, of course, is they're paying off debt with more debt. Now, sorry, that sounds to me like a Ponzi scheme. The derivatives market is another balloon that is all over the place, and somebody actually calculated it must be something like $1 quadrillion worldwide in derivatives just floating around all over the place. It's just a betting chain. I mean, derivatives of themselves, very sensible thing. You hedge against oil going up or oil going down, or the dollar going up or down, or a combination of all these things. But now they're making side bets on the side bets and creating a daisy chain of this sort of thing. And I think that that is another danger out there. What should you do? The equity rich will get richer, and those in debt will get poorer. People who are cash dependent are going to get poorer. I don't know when share prices will collapse, if they collapse. I wouldn't want to be in shares right now, but if they do collapse and we get back to a 5-year fair value, in other words, if your investment strategy is for 5 years, then I would calculate fair value on that 5 years. In that case, I would be looking at things like food and water, things that people must have, shares in those companies. 3 things that you have to do, apart from diversifying your supply chain, 3 financial things that you have to do. And that is, you have to, first of all, make sure that your revenues, your income, is increasing faster than your debt is increasing. Otherwise, you'll drown in debt. That's very important. In order to do that, your productivity has to be increasing faster than your revenue. All right? So, and to do that, everything must be thrown at increasing productivity, even if it means scaling down the overall production, but upping the profit margin. So it means more automation, that kind of thing. We're hearing noises about the creation of digital currencies. Now, I don't mean the Bitcoin, and other people will say, well, we've got digital currency. It's called the pound, the dollar, the euro. I don't mean that. I mean currencies that are more like, well, glorified food stamps. And this idea is coming from dishonest, cynical people, in other words, bankers and politicians. One of the ideas in Japan at the moment is, yes, you get about $1,000 or whatever it is, but you don't get any more. That would be a stimulus payment. But you don't get any more until you've spent that, and you have to spend it with people who are prepared to take this currency, but you can't exchange it for proper currency. It's still just their bogus money, their funny money. You know, you thought that Kanye West running for president was the craziest idea out there. Just imagine what happens when you get a stimulus package, money, now it starts going in for health care or your pensions. And when that happens, it's game over for the parent currency.